Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to 501st. Today we are going to be watching Max Dark and his T110E3, the heavy American tank destroyer. But before we watch this replay, I want to just break down the T110E3 for you real fast for those of you who don't know what it is. The T110E3 is a super heavy American tank destroyer with some very amazing armor. As you can see, this is up against a gun that has pretty good pen, which is actually its own gun. It has a couple weak points here, and also it only can go 8 degrees to each side, and it does have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is definitely going to help it out on a ridgeline. But yeah, this thing is not going to be the most mobile thing you've ever seen. With 750 damage a shot and 16-second reload time, it packs a very mediocre 2,760 DPM. Actually, that's pretty good for a tank destroyer with a with a high alpha gun. Now, with only 24 top speed, you might want to put a turbocharger on it, and only 8 reverse speed, never going to want to reverse in this, and 11 power to weight, only 25 tank traverse, so this thing's definitely going to be pretty slow, but with good armor and a great gun. So let's jump back into the replay. Okay, so you see that Max Dark is in a pretty good matchup here against tier 8s on El Halif. So even though this tank has very, very good armor, he chooses not to go to the heavy tank brawl, which would be over here, maybe because he's super slow, as you can see, but he's going to play more of a sniping role in this battle, as you'll see for the first part. And you're just going to see how amazing this matchmake is for Max Dark, and how he uses his armor and his gun to really overpower the situation. So this tank does only have 27 rounds, which I feel like you're usually going to be able to you'll usually be able to get through a battle without having to use all 27, but as this battle I'm featuring, it might be a little bit longer, so we'll have to see if he runs out of all of his rounds or not. So right now he's just getting into a good position, and you can see he's aiming for the Panther 2, and when it comes down the hill, it stops for just a second, and he tracks it and does 821 damage. Not sure if that track was, if he was trying to get that track right there, but he did, and 821 damage is done to the Panther 2, and that's about half of its hit points, and it's actually dead now. So he does take a little bit of a risky shot there. It wasn't all the way aimed, but he does track it again and gets 684. As you can see, this thing can do a lot of damage fast if you play it well. And 765 there, so the gods of RNG are definitely with him right now. He's hitting shots that I would usually not think he would hit, but his team is in the lead by 2 kills. He hasn't got either of them yet, and the Scorpion G is tracked, and he does finish that off and secures his first kill. So right now, there's a lot of mediums and stuff pushing on this flank against each other. And over there, it looks like his team will be able to hold it off okay. They look like they have more, but we'll just have to see what happens over there. And he's already up to 2,768 damage, so he's already suppressed the hit points of his vehicle in the first 2 minutes of the game. And that's very, very, very good damage. For being in the T110E3, and it might even be paying off that he didn't go over to the heavy tank brawl over here. He might have been able to do more like their T110E3 did over there, but we'll just have to see. So the AMX-30, he pokes out, and it might be a big mistake, and he ammo racks the AMX-30, and that is, yeah, he is definitely getting super lucky in this battle. There's 1,650 damage for you in one shell. And that boosts his damage all the way up to 4,418. So, Max Dark, you better be pretty proud of this one, even if he doesn't do very great in the rest of it, even if he dies, because that was a very, very lucky ammo rack right there, especially on a full hit points tier 9 medium tank. So, he's already up to 4,418 damage. And unfortunately, it looks like this flank might be overrun, and also he only has 2 tanks over here that together only have 24 hit points remaining, and he's just trying to see if he can get a shell in here. As you can see, it might not be the greatest spot because it could fly left or right and then just hit that building right there, and he wouldn't be able to get past it with his shell and hit anyone, and it'd just be a waste of a shell. But oh, the charioteer is advancing around the right flank, and 689 damage. He doesn't finish him off all the way, but the UDES 03 over here, in which is Afkazjax21 and his Yuta is 03, does finish him off. Okay, so he's aiming over here again. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be coming except the Centurion Action 10. He fires. It was just a blind fire because the Centurion Action 10 went unspotted. But I'm not sure if he hit him or not. And for everyone that's wondering, you can actually go and watch replays like this all for yourself. Just go to worldoftanksreplays.eu. And you can basically watch whatever replay you like, because people post their great replays on the channel there, and you can just download them and watch them. Make sure that you use the current, make sure that you only download replays with the current update, or else you won't be able to watch them. Sometime I might come out with a video on how to watch them. There's a very meaty shell, 825 damage into the Centurion Action 10, and this is a very juicy situation for the T110E3. Heavy tanks rushing down the hill. He is going to load some gold here to go through this Chinese Tier 9 heavy, but he still doesn't penetrate the first gold round he loads. Super Conqueror gets spotted by the Carnarvon Action 10. As you can see, this reload is a little bit slow. There are some tanks that do more damage at tier 10, but there's another 758 damage for you. And now he is almost up to 7,000 damage in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. So that's very, very nice. And he boosts himself. Nope, he doesn't boost himself there. He lost a little bit of his RNG. Maybe he's getting a little bit of bad luck finally. But I wouldn't be too worried about it. He's doing great so far. So he's also picked up 890 blocking damage. Now he's above 7,000 damage in the first 6 minutes of the game. So that's some very, very high damage. And as you see, he only has 890 blocking damage, but he's still on full health. It looks like his team is down by 2 kills, so they might be in a little bit of a predicament here. But if he had gone to the heavy tank brawl, he might have died. He definitely would have picked up a couple thousand blocking damage. You'll see this thing's armor is just utterly insane once he actually starts getting into the battle. So far, he's just mostly played a sniping role. So right now, it is a 5v8, I believe. So it looks like that the other team is going to win right now. They still have 2 heavy tier 10s. 4 tier 9s and 2 tier 8s, and on Max Dark's team he only has 3 tier 8s, and his other tier 9 just got destroyed by the Yag Tiger, but he might be able to shut down their tier 9 right here, the Shko T50, and yes, he does. And of course he gets another critical because he has just been getting an insane amount of criticals, and unfortunately it looks like the Centurion 1 is AFK, so that just leaves him and his 2 teammates who are on 24 health combined against now it is 6 enemy tanks, and now Max Dark is only 65 damage away from getting an 8,000 damage game, and this is insane. This is only in the first 7.5 minutes of this battle. There's still it's just now halfway over, so this is crazy. He zooms in on the Yag Tiger, and he might be able to pen one in, but nope. He turns around. So at this point, everyone's kind of in a stalemate here. He's not really sure where these heavy tanks could be. His Centurion's AFK, the Lorraine 40T, can't really do anything because he's only on 2 health. So literally anything will shut him down right now. So Max Dark decides to come over here where he saw the heavy tanks earlier. Maybe they're still waiting there, but he does not seem to spot them. And right now he only has 13 more shells to his name, and there are 2 very healthy, well, that's not true, but 2 very heavy tanks, and he shuts down one of them with 1 shell. He shuts down the other T110E3, and he is going after the WZ-11114, which is the Tier 9 Chinese heavy tank, and it's focusing on the Centurion 1, and he might be hoping for that Kolobanov's medal. He might be wanting him to shut the Centurion 1 down, because he does turn around and wait for the Centurion 1 to be destroyed. So he's heading over this way. Maybe he thinks the Object 704 will be over here. Not really sure. The Centurion 1 is shut down now, so now it is a 1v5 scenario for Max Dark. So no Object 704 over this way. So he starts turning around. You see that he has an awful traverse time. He turns himself all the way around, and starts coming over this way. He's waiting. Maybe that WZ-111-14 will come over here. If he does pop up over there, he'll probably be able to pin a shell into him. Maybe the Object 704 is coming around his back, and maybe all 5 of them are closing in right now. It's really hard to know when you're in a 1v5 scenario with only 12 shells left, so he can't really miss any right here if he wants to shut down all 5 of the tanks, or just he needs to hope that they don't really have that many hit points. So the WZ-111-14 is a one-shot for him if he can just pin one in before he gets around, and yes, he does shut him down, but he only does have 2 more gold rounds, and they still have a Super Conqueror, a Jagdtiger, and an Object 704, all pretty heavy tanks. And so he comes around, the Object 704 doesn't fire at him yet, and he does shut him down. And now it is a 1v3, and Max Dark is up to 9,600 damage. So one more shell that goes in as long as the opponent has about 400 health left, and that will boost him over 10,000 damage. So now this is a really tricky situation for Max Dark. The Super Conqueror could be closing around his back. They might just be camping. They might be coming around. It's really tough to know where they could be. They're not the most mobile tanks, except the Super Conqueror and the E75TS are they have a decent amount of speed for heavies. But he's popping over this ridge. We'll see if he can see anyone or if he gets shot. And he spots the E75TS, which is on full hit points. A little bit dangerous maneuvers right here, but somehow he pens that one in with auto aim. 776 damage, but now all the tanks know where he is on the enemy team. And he's turning around. The Super Conqueror appears on his left. He uses his repair kit to fix his tracks. Can he get the shell into the Super Conqueror? And he shuts him down just before he pulls around the corner. But now the E75TS is coming around over this side. He's not reloaded yet. Is he going to try to ram him, maybe? The Jagdtiger appears behind him. 558 damage right into him. But he luckily shuts the E75 down right away. And he still has 7 shells, but only 2 armor-piercing rounds left. Will he be able to shut the Jagdtiger down? The Jagdtiger misses his shell, and that might have changed the game. We'll see. And the Jagdtiger rams him. He puts 1 shell into the Jagdtiger. The Jagdtiger is trying to aim at his Compulsor, maybe, and he's backing up, but he does block the shell. And will he pen in his last shell into the Jagdtiger? And you see that 16-second reload, and yes, he does shut him down. And right here in the chat, you see that it's like, oh man, awesome, and all that stuff. And I would be cheering too, because Max Dark, that was a very, very well played game. To you, 12,702 damage, 3,000 blocking damage, and 600 assistance damage. He also secured a Kolobanov's medal for standing alone against at least 5 enemies, and he got 10 kills, which is definitely going to get him a top gun. Thanks for watching. If you have a replay that you'd like to send to me, please email me, and like this video if you liked it. If you like videos like this, please subscribe, and I'm going to be coming out with some videos on the new Italian heavy tanks that will be entering the game. And if you want to see how to test them out on the comment test server, go watch my last video, and we'll see you next time.